rise today to voice my strong opposition to this bill.
On the House floor, Representative Chuy Garcia delivered a pointed and unmistakably critical message, one that went beyond policy and straight into questions of power, accountability, and leadership. His target, Donald Trump, and what Garcia described as an illegal war with Iran. That phrase, illegal war, is not just political rhetoric. It carries serious weight. Garcia is essentially arguing that military engagement without proper congressional approval violates the very framework of the U.S. Constitution. It's a claim that taps into a long-running tension in American governance, the balance between executive authority and legislative oversight when it comes to war. Now, let's dive into the next one. Time to tackle the threat head-on. Let's see how it unfolds.
Back. Does the gentleman reserve?
I'll reserve.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Washington is recognized.
Thank you. I'd like to yield 3 minutes to the representative from Illinois, Representative Garcia.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise today to voice my strong opposition to this bill. First of all, this bill and the substance of the bill, this dispute, is undergoing consideration by the international bodies established by the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Trade Agreement. We really should wait until a decision is arrived at with respect to that mechanism. But there are other considerations. First, let's consider other far-reaching implications. The bill gives the president the authority to prohibit vessels that travel through certain Western Hemisphere ports that he designates from entering U.S. waters. While supporters say that the bill is narrowly written to target a specific project in a specific country, the reality is that the president will be given broad authority that could be applied to other countries in the future. And let's not forget who we're talking about here. This is the same president who used military force in Venezuela to force regime change. The same president who's now engaging in an illegal war with Iran without even consulting Congress. Do we really want to entrust the president with this new authority granted under this bill? Equally damaging, the bill ignores the objections of local people fighting for their right to safe drinking water and a surrounding environment free of contamination. That's what's in the dispute resolution matter being addressed now. I've spoken to local community leaders who have suffered from the environmental damage caused by these mining operations. This bill limits the ability of foreign governments to adopt measures that protect its communities and its environment, essentially coercing those foreign governments to prioritize the interests of U.S. corporations over its people. We should not be legislating to hinder a foreign government's ability to protect its citizens from environmental harm. We should not be granting the president a new authority that could have broad foreign policy implications. I urge my colleagues to join with me and to vote no on this proposal. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield back.
The chair yields back. Does the gentleman reserve?
Reserve.
The gentleman from Mississippi is recognized.
For many Americans, this debate can feel distant, even abstract. But in Washington, it's a defining issue. Congress technically holds the power to declare war, yet over the years, presidents, Republican and Democrat alike, have increasingly taken military action without formal declarations. Garcia's remarks are part of a broader push to reassert congressional authority and slow down decisions that could lead to large-scale conflict. At the same time, Garcia also tied this issue to a larger critique of foreign policy under Trump. His argument suggests that what we're seeing is not an isolated decision, but part of a pattern, one where aggressive moves on the global stage risk escalating tensions rather than resolving them. By bringing Iran into the conversation, Garcia is pointing to one of the most sensitive geopolitical flashpoints in the world. Of course, supporters of Trump would strongly disagree with that characterization. They would argue that a firm stance against Iran is necessary, that strength prevents conflict rather than causes it. In their view, hesitation or diplomacy alone may embolden adversaries rather than deter them. And that's really where the divide lies. Is strong military posture a form of protection or provocation? Is acting quickly a sign of leadership or a bypass of democratic process? Garcia's speech doesn't settle those questions, but it does amplify them. It forces lawmakers and the public to confront the consequences of how decisions about war are made. Because ultimately, these are not just political disagreements. They are choices that can shape international stability, national security, and the lives of countless people. As this debate continues, one thing remains certain: the conversation around war powers, presidential authority, and America's role in the world is far from over. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next content.